Alright.
Okay. Next topic of discussion.
Uh-huh.
We are staying at the Merrimack State Park, which is 3 miles away from Sullivan, Missouri. So, I think this is a beautiful campsite. Would you agree?
Oh yeah.
There are,
Probably one of the best ones we've been to.
yeah, there are 3 different sections to this campsite. We're in section 3 on the very last loop. We drove around yesterday, and I don't think you can find a bad spot in this whole place. Like, it's beautifully laid out. There's lots of space. There are some in section 1 and section 2 that are pull through, that are closer together, but even those aren't bad, I would say. They were very large campers, and they all look like they had
Yeah.
enough space.
Park itself is huge.
Yeah,
So all the day use is way over, it's actually on the other side of the hill.
so you don't really see them or hear them the day you use
Yeah.
people. There's a visitor center, there's a gift shop, there's a little grill for lunch that's open at lunchtime. You can rent canoes and take them out on the river. There's a cave tour that unfortunately we didn't get to do because we're here on the wrong days. But it's led by flashlights. You get to take flashlights into this cave. There's lots of trails. What else? There's access to the river
Yeah,
to swim.
we're literally 100 yards away from the river.
It's like you said, it's sprawling. And even the campsites, the campground part is sprawling. Like you could just let your kids loose, ride bikes, play, run. Like it's amazing. They've got playgrounds and it's all shaded. It's super nice. And the weather the past 3 days, outside of our rainy morning on Monday, it's been 70 degrees.
Yeah, it's almost been autumnal in June. It's kind of weird.
What about the wildlife here?
There's deer everywhere.
Every time I look out across the campground, I see a deer just standing there frolicking around, and they're not scared of you.
Yeah.
Like the cars will drive through, and they just look at them.
I guess because there's no hunting here. It's they're not that afraid of man, but just keep your distance from them when you come.
Birds, there's tons of different
yeah.
variety of birds.
Bird watcher's paradise here, really.
Squirrels, rabbits. Let's talk about the raccoons.
All right. We made a mistake the first night of leaving our trash bag hanging on the pole. We were soon told not to by our friendly raccoon because he climbed up the pole and tried eating the bottom out of the bag.
As soon as we were in the tent, here he was.
So I had to get out of the tent and put the trash in the car. But he has a habit of coming round about 5 or 6 o'clock just to check what you're doing.
He'll just snoop around.
Yeah.
Look at you.
And then
Our midnight visitor we had last night.
he'll bring back the family.
It's early tonight.
After dark.
Yeah. We were sat here the other night and the adult came back with 2, not babies, but they're young ones. It was quite cute. And they're not afraid of you at all. They're not. So be careful because these things will bite. We went to the dumpster last night to put our trash in, and lo and behold, there was a raccoon in the dumpster. He'd been locked in there all day by those things. So we kind of left the lid open for a little while, stepped back.
There was a rope hanging off the
Yeah.
side of the dumpster, so we threw the rope inside.
And after about 5-10 minutes, he decided he could climb out.
He climbed the rope and got out.
And did he ever run? So
Yeah, but like last night, we were sitting here around the campfire, and I just happened to turn around, and about 8 feet away was this raccoon
Actually,
coming towards us.
this tree, he was actually hiding behind this tree, waiting for us to go to bed.
Yeah, so we had to like bang some things around and get him to run off.
But yeah, it's been
We said yesterday
adventure.
it was like a Disney wilderness. Like if I could just put my hand out and have a little bluebird and land. Oh, bluebird
There's bluebirds, yeah.
and a woodpecker that's been hanging around us.
But yeah, it's a beautiful sight.
Yeah. We
And
saw
we-
one black snake.
Yeah, there's a long hike to the bathhouse. It goes up around the back of the campsite here and through the woods. Very well maintained. It's mowed every week, so it's just a grass path up to the bathhouse. And we've been walking up there and seeing rabbits. And, one time we were walking up there was a black snake on the path. I love black snakes. It wasn't a very big one, it was only a young one. But yeah, this is like a wildlife park. It really is. We've camped in lots of different places, and I don't think I've ever seen as much wildlife as what we've seen here.
No. And we've lucked out. Our neighbors, which are few, have been quiet,
Except for one.
gone for the most part. Yeah, one night was it Monday night?
Yeah.
We had some people roll in late, around 8, throw up a tent.
But
The biggest problem was their car sounded like they had lost their catalytic converter. We know that sound because in the past year we had a vehicle that had their catalytic converter stolen. So we kind of know what that sounds like.
yeah, it definitely had an exhaust problem at the front end.
Yeah. So they threw up their tent and they left, and we could hear them traveling all through this park, right? And it's a good, I don't even know how many miles it takes to get outside of the park.
Good couple of miles.
Yeah, but you could hear them like all through the woods with this exhaust. Boom, 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 boom. Even onto the highway, you could hear them. And then, of course, they didn't roll back in till 1:30. Then they
Yeah.
left again, came back at 3:30. And the whole time, you could hear them coming through the park with this. And then they'd just sit. They would just sit with the car running in their spot. Like,
And they're like 30 yards away from our site.
yeah. Luckily, they were only here for one night. But,
Yeah.
and I feel for them. If they had their catalytic converter stolen, that's not an easy
But people,
fix.
These campsites close at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, there are quiet hours.
That's our quiet time. And they ruined it for everybody. Not just us, but everybody in this campsite.
Yeah,
in
because
this
you have to
whole
drive
site.
through the entire campground
Yeah.
to get to this spot that we're in.
And there's people here with little children who mothers are trying to get them to go to sleep, and this thing comes through 3 times.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah. That's just,
But now we sound old and cranky. We're really not old and, well, we're old, but not normally cranky. Well, I'm not normally cranky.
all right.
Unless I don't get enough sleep because of a loud car coming through the camp. What else can we say? Oh, it's like I said, we're 3 miles away from Sullivan. So if you've forgotten something, there's a Walmart right there. There's grocery stores, gas stations, a bunch of fast food restaurants.
The actual town of Sullivan is a sleepy little thing.
I would definitely like to come back, maybe in the fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd like to see the
But-
colours.
It'd be fun to kayak on the river. It's a huge river, much bigger than what I expected.
Oh, there's canoe rentals here as well, so you can.
Yeah.
There's a shuttle service upriver, so you can hire canoes.
And then if you're in the area, like a couple hours south of this is like some other, like Elephant Rock State Park and Johnson Shut-ins that are big places to go in Missouri. Like,
They're the ones that are usually booked solid.
yeah. And this one,
Why this one isn't, I don't know.
I made reservations here the day before, and they had plenty of spots open, which is incredible because it's a really nice campground.
Yeah.
It's really nice. We're headed out today, back over to Southwest Missouri, and we'll see where our next adventure takes us.
Thanks for watching.